As I sit here talking to you guys, it's 0:30, and the reason I'm talking to my laptop and my phone of all things is because my cameraman's asleep. Let me tell you about what this is. This is the summation of my experience of living and working in London, on Baker Street, of all things. I was asked to perform at a series of book launches and shows down there for quite some time, just before the end of 2015, and this is the summation of that experience. The books were this book by me, Everything You Need to Know to Become a Deductionist, from zero to pretty damn good, contained within these pages. There's this book by Mr. Luke Benjamin Coons, an incredible collection of 3 stories containing everything you can ever want from a classic piece of Holmes fiction right here. Particularly my favourite is when Adler shows up. And there's this book, The Monographs by Ben Cardall. Have you ever truly wanted to know what goes on inside the head of Sherlock Holmes? If he were alive today in the 21st century, this is for you. Now, these are the really special ones. Record-breaking collection of Holmes stories. Record-breaking. There's not been a collection like this for years, and the proceeds of which go to an incredible cause. The Save Undershore Preservation with the Stepping Stones Trust in there. Oh my God, these people are doing incredible work. Incredible work. So go and support them through these books. The MX book of New Sherlock Holmes Stories is the official title. So not only will you be supporting an incredible cause, but you get like 7 million new and incredible stories to chew on. They're amazing. Do yourself that favour. And finally is this book right here. #1 bestseller in the Sherlock Holmes department through most of the Christmas period. Everything you could ever want to know is in this book to get you going. I'm just going to drop the blindfold and I'm going to look at each of you. I want you each to just announce your name, nothing more. Okay, and then I'll put the blindfold back on. Alright? In a minute. Yeah, in a minute.
Cameron. Sarah.
Will.
Bob.
Chris.
Layla.
Bill.
Eleanor. Heather.
Heather?
June.
Deidre.
Let's go to the back as well. Dan. Robin. Sora.
Ian.
Say again? Ian. Kim.
Kat.
Christina.
Brad.
Brett.
80. Brad.
That's a good job you spelt it. I'd have been clueless. Colin. Zena. Mohammed. Okay. Right. Now, it's a rather personal task to ask somebody to take one of their shoes off on the spot in front of a crowd. And all I will need you to do is to come up and pop your shoe on the table, then return. Come up and put your shoes on the table. The eyes can mislead, a smile can lie, but the shoes always tell the truth. How poignant is that? It's not Holmes, it's close, it's house. But so much information is kept in these. They go with us everywhere. They go with us on our day-to-day basis. Aside from knowing my look, somebody's probably put a costume shoe on here. And so let's see what we can do with these. You've clearly got a very loose, very warm, very comfortable trainer. You can feel the stripe, so that's an Adidas. Hello. Me and you going to have a very close conversation afterwards? Oh, that was good. That was a very sincere laugh from this neck of the woods. 3, 4. Zena.
That's right.
Yes. So, yes, Zena. You've got some personal information in mind that I'm going to hopefully get from your shoes. Now I can feel that these are made up of leather, and leather is a very can be a very tense material at start, so it would take some wearing in. So these are comfort shoes based. They have quite a heel upon them, so that would speak to something about your personality and perhaps the job that you work in. So the job that you work in, I'm going to be very, very focused on people, not so much a large quantity of people, like say in a restaurant or something, but very, very customer based. Is that?
Yes.
Somewhere around there, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, no more information than this. Forgive me, I don't have a fetish, but... Okay. No, I assure you, don't worry, your personal hygiene secrets shall remain. But would I be right in thinking that sometimes the occasional cigarette socially?
Oh God, yes.
Yes? Okay. But specifically cigarettes, not roll-ups?
Cigarettes, not
Yeah. So what would you do? Describe yourself in one word. Go. Anything. Sociable. Okay. That's put on the spot. Quick thinking, big word. So it'll be something in numbers, banking, money.
Yes, absolutely.
And finally, there's a lot of wear on the sole as well, which you don't usually get walking up a lot of stairs, so that pretty much rules out flats. Statistics dictate you live in a semi.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. I see. Okay, buckle on the top. See, this is something else. I spoke about leather. This is a little tenser. So this will either be one of two things. These are either brand new shoes, or these are specifically costume driven, like you haven't had a chance to wear them a lot as well. Again, don't say who you are yet. I'll try and get there, because I did see you, all of you technically, and it's clearly a male shoe. You were around here, and your name was... It's going to come to me. I'll come back. So yeah, but I'm saying you the bloke in this area. So this is a costume shoe, yes? You're wearing it as part of a costume?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Say yes again.
Yes.
German? Is he still there?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Again. So you turned up at the venue in these shoes. You don't smoke, none of that madness. What would you do? You sound like you're quite sort of young-ish. How old are you?
20.
20. So that puts you still in school, yeah?
Sort of.
Sort of? Righto. Oh, Ian!
Yes.
Okay, right, that puts you still in school. Clearly quite comfortable dealing with this time. I mean, we're all going to be comfortable to a certain degree. It's a rather informal setting. But pressure test questions means that people can deal with this pressure in a different scenario. So you'd be comfortable speaking publicly. And the fact that you can turn up to one of these kind of events obviously shows you your likes and dislikes, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't like and enjoy this kind of thing. So that would put you on the remit of doing something like... So if you're not in school, it's going to be college or university then, the focus splits. So it'd be like a... No, it wouldn't be English. Like a performance, a drama, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And where would you live? I mean, do you live in this country?
No.
Shit. Okay, so the sole, new shoes, not very worn. No, they are worn. They tip there. They tip right on the edge. Wear down. That is a lot of stairs. They clip. So that means these maybe are shoes that you've put in as part of your costume, but you had them anyway, and you would live in a flat.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, last but by no means least, the Adidas one, if I remember it. Okay, comfort shoe, non-smoker. Worn these all day though. Oh. Comfort shoe, wear them a lot. As it's a trainer, I would say you wouldn't be one of those people in costume. So, your name, what was your name? Also, it's tough to get because I can't see the colour. And female, I shouldn't guess because it's a shocking habit, destructive to the logical faculty. But I have. So I'm going for a woman. Not, socially, I'm spoken for, but in the event. So I'm going for a woman who lives, I would say possibly, I'm not feeling a lot of wear and tear going on, so it's either one of two things. It's either a house that's on the ground floor, which I know we all have a basis of the house on the ground floor, but we go into the front door on the ground floor. So it would either be that, or they have a lot of carpeting in the front, or both. So, Chris.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, I was going for a woman.
I question how many women have size 11 shoes.
You wouldn't believe the people I come across, sir. Unless you've got some kind of secret I need to get at as well. But, terraced house?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a lot of carpet?
Yeah, they're reasonable.
Marvellous. Non-smoker, and so, okay. So, let's do this on this alone, right? Because I've got enough from the shoe. I think I can go on the rest from listening to you as well. So, clearly quite an amiable person, comfortable with everybody looking at you, comfortable enough to make the return joke, which would again point towards something similar of a customer-driven job, but not as many customers at once. It's very focused, that type of thing. Yes?
That's right.
Okay. Again, so describe yourself in one word.
Irritable.
Irritable. Moving on to the next routine. It's so good to end on the irritable. Can I ask, were you one of the skeptics I heard from this area earlier?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I don't believe so anyway. No.
An enigma shrouded in a mystery. Okay. So you sound like you're quite well spoken, quite clear in the tone of your voice. So a lot of what you do involves like physically talking to people and explaining stuff, making sure that whoever is sat in front of you understands the stuff that you're trying to get out. Yes.
Yes.
So far too many jobs like that, but it's definitely some kind of advisory role.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, ladies and gents.
Not with me, you don't.
You've been in it all this other time.
Yeah. Okay, I've got 2 cards in mind.
So you've got 2 cards in mind. Again, the suits, they're irrelevant for that, but all I want you to do is to just focus on the values. Okay?
It's alright.
No, these are going to be rare too.
Why?
Because Mike's doing his own print.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Mike Hogan. Why? What does he do? He just like gallivants around the world.
I think he must have had a really high-powered job and just ended up.
So, because he lives in Thailand.
You got one of these, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll pay.
The comic book, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 3 books, so I'll go get these 3.
So now, do you want me to go for the high value suit or the low value suit?
It doesn't make any difference. They're both going to be really fucking easy.
Tell me what the low value is.
4 of diamonds.
So 4s. Yeah.
That's great, I love this. Doesn't sell the shit.
I'll have to stick them up.
Well, no, because this is 3
Well,
books.
that's the top one.
So it's the 3 individual books all put into a
Oh, I
hardback.
see.
So
I'll follow that.
So this is the individual novels by Ian. Here and else is a hardback. So you're buying the 3 into a hardback. But people don't really buy hardbacks. That's the challenge.
Should be that one. So I have to leave the decks in the same order because that's how it's memorised. So that should be 4, and they should be 4 as well. Okay, put the.
Yeah, let's see the queen.
So deal them down this way. So that would be 1, and deal me to the 7th.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Then so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22. And the 33rd.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33.
And then the 41st.
36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 51. Seriously, like when you turned over the side, turn them over, I thought that was a trick because in the first 3 cards, most of the ones I was thinking of came up.
You know Sue? But that had the best stuff.
I have never met any of you before tonight, so I have to go through a process in order to figure out the kind of tells that we're working with. So can everybody get into their hands an object about the size of a ring? If possible. About the size of a ring. It can be a coin, be a folded up piece of paper, anything. Just so long as you can fit it into a fist. Okay? And the game is very simple. I'm going to turn my back and you're going to place the object into one of your hands. Okay? Go with whichever one feels right. And obviously leave the one that's left completely open and empty. Alright? You get this brief moment of me turning to do that. And I turn back around, hoping that you've all completed the game. Did you not have enough time? Or are you showing me your empty hand, making it very easy for me to guess which one is which? Now, those of you will have noticed that I put extra emphasis on going for the one that feels right and leaving the one that is left completely open. So, if you do have the object in your left hand, you are out of the game at this point, and you responded very compliantly to the next game. The next game is exactly the same thing. For those people that are left, you're going to do the same thing again. All right? That's all the time you get. Okay, now first of all, we'll be making very much awareness in my words of right and left-handed. Obviously, to trick me now, the next thing that you would logically do is to keep it in the same hand. So those of you that have kept it in the same hand this time, you are out of the game at this point. Okay? Do we have any how many do we have left at this stage? One? So from a room full of people, we get down to only a couple. That's provided that all of you are playing. So do raise your hands, the people that are still in. That was you too, yes? Come on up. Give them a round of applause as they make their way to the stage.
So, Ben!
Yeah.
Shall we go visit your memory palaces?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's do it.
The actual memory. Oh, yeah. That's like a right-off one.
Oh,
yeah, let's do that.
Right in the palace. Look at Optimus Prime over here. Oh my God!
Transform and roll out.
We are in search of the Decepticons to destroy the head office printer. No! So this is the fabled college. The rumours, the rapes,
Yeah,
the rapscallions,
that's it.
the unspoken for children.
You know what's good about this though? Looking at it like this, objectively. You literally get to see the scope of what's happening in your own head.
Yeah.
You literally get to see exactly what's possible. You know?
How creative you can be.
This sports complex wasn't actually added till I left the high school. So, because I didn't have a sufficient PE block in my building, in my memory palace, I went back to just get a look around, you know? So it's all down there.
Yeah.
And you come into this block here. Then when this block ends, they've knocked it down now to make a car park. But it did carry on. It carried on right the way down.
Yeah.
Right, all the way down here.
Yeah. On this entire car
This
park.
big open stuff is now, all the way where this grass is.
Holy hell. It's huge.
Yeah, and then it sort of stopped here.
Yeah.
I'll pull in here by these gates. And it stopped here. Because that there is a swimming pool, so I didn't use that.
Yeah.
I had no need. There's no swimming pool in Folkestone. But all down there is, you know, out sort of sports facilities, tennis courts, basketball courts and whatnot. But yeah, all the AstroTurf pitches down at the back were there at the time, but it's much like the swimming pool. I don't need them as part of the memory palace.
Yeah.
But the buildings started there. That was where the old PE block was, right where those metallic sort of fence gates things are. And it went all the way the way back to where the sports complex is. Yeah, it was massive. And it was a perfect building.
Yeah.
You know, 3 floors, all sorts of intricate little, like, corridors and walkways, and intricate, brilliant because it sticks out more.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't need as much focus in the memorization of it, and it was perfect.
Wow.
A list of locations drawn, but these don't have to be rooms, and the reason I'm having them randomly drawn out now is so, you know, I'm not prepping, I'm not setting the stage for certain areas that I'm completely comfortable with reading. So we need 5 random places anywhere in the world. Shout them out. And you've all left. Yes. 5 random places. Paris. Paris. Next.
London.
London. Berlin. 3 more. Wigan. Love it. Anywhere else? Jamaica.
No, she went of her own accord. Oh, sorry.
2 performers up here. And one last one. Anywhere else? Amsterdam. Very telling, Mally, let me tell you.
I know.
He doesn't care. I need a list of weapons to use. Anyone, shout out a weapon.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw. If you're interested, most social psychologists would class you as maybe a B6 personality. You're a nutter. Anyone else? So, there are two questions. Axe, I heard. Two more.
Poisonous snake.
Say again?
Corkscrew.
Corkscrew. Yes.
Poisonous snake.
He's in a snake. Where would we be?
Chopstick.
Excuse me? Good man.
You know it.
Who's next?
Icicle.
Icicle. Love it.
Short term weapon.
Chainsaw. Good luck on the drive home. Weapon number 4, anybody?
Leg of lamb.
Leg of lamb. Nice. Nice. The bone inside, yeah. I need a list of weapons to use. Anyone, shout out a weapon.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw. If you're interested, most social psychologists would class you as maybe a B6 personality. You're a nutter. Anyone else? So, there are two questions. Axe, I heard. Two more.
Poisonous snake.
Say again?
Corkscrew.
Corkscrew. Yes.
Poisonous snake.
He's in a snake. Where would we be? Second, here's what's going to happen between you three. Okay, I'm going to put these sound cancelling headphones on, and I'm going to turn the face away from you. I want you to decide amongst yourselves who the killer is going to be. Okay? You can take notes, don't scuffle, no arguments, no 16th century fighting. Okay? If somebody chooses to be the killer, okay, then whoever that is will decide on their location that they're going to do this and the weapon they're going to choose. Thinking cap on. Do you know, I'm that special kind of nerd where I googled where the phrase thinking caps comes from, and they can only trace it back as far as Sherlock's deerstalker. If you get nothing else from the night, put quiz info for you. Now, I always feel like I should have like a truncheon or something to stroll up and down with. I do this from here for 2 reasons. One, I can see you, and 2, the camera can see me. Anyway, so here we go. Here's what happens at this point. One of you has some information that I need to get at. So you will start eliciting tells. Okay. I know the other 2 people. I've not announced that you're going to be you're going to act as the cohorts. And now all we need to complete the image is a victim. It's a victim. So one last time, I'm going to turn around. I'm just going to turn this way. Doesn't matter if I hear what goes on, because the only thing I will hear is somebody very melodramatically dying. That was brilliant. Who was that? Who was our victim? Congratulations, that was Oscar winning. Bravo. Now, the more I talk about the vicious murder that was committed, because let's face it, with those list of weapons, it can be vicious. I don't know what you do with a chopstick. I could probably think of a few things. But here we go. So the more I talk, the more somebody should get nervous. And it won't be a lot of nerves, because there's no real stakes in this. You've not really done anything. Okay? And see, and what I'm loving about this is when you look at a long list of people, or you talk through a long list of lines, or there's always that one thing in the middle that you know is going to be a lie. So essentially it will stand out a bit more. At the minute, you're the person that stands out a bit more, because these 2 are adopting similar sort of postures. They've not really changed. They're listening. You're doing a lot of giggling. You're doing a lot of excited, nervous movements. Okay? So, I'm going to say that you're the killer. Is that right? You don't remember? Do you guys remember? Was that right? Okay, good. You. No, it was you. You're a fantastic liar.
Thank you.
Now, if you could just for a second picture your choice of location and your choice of weapon as well, okay? If you could just picture yourself there at the time. Now, this all sounds a bit esoteric and spiritual almost, but the body reacts to stimuli in this way. Like if we imagine ourselves being cold, we can tense up. If we imagine ourselves on a hot beach, we relax. These situations help, right? So here's what we're going to do. We need to picture yourselves, even if you haven't been there, your own sort of model of this society. Okay? This is quite traditionally a hot place, though. Yes. No, I mean in the summer. In the summer. Yeah. You've no idea. Well, that's very telling about the weather as well, which would immediately make me jump to the more English one of the plot. And Wigan, yes. Okay. And we move on to the weapon. Okay. If you could picture the weapon. Now, the great tendency, and I'm not going to look at you, the great tendency here, given the gathering that we have, will be to jump to the obvious of the poisonous snake. But I'm just going to ask you to imagine using said object. Okay? Just imagine what it would be like to use it and the planning that it would take. Okay. I wouldn't say that it would be anything too immediate, which cuts out the chainsaw, the axe, and the corkscrew. I'm saying it's not one of them. Is that correct? Excellent. So we're down to the garrote and the poisonous snake, which arguably you'd have to put a great physical thought in. You went for the snake, didn't you? Yeah? Thank you very much. Now, comfortable on the chairs, and I know you're very conscious now not to give anything away, so you're forcibly holding yourself in place. And I'm totally just drawing on my waistcoat and marker. Okay, so you're sat in this place, which sort of flirts between two weathers in your head. It's not necessarily hot all the time, it's not necessarily cold, which would typically mean then, I want to rub Mars off, you're not on Mars first of all, okay? And I'll save it right till the end. I'll save you. Yeah. Now just picture the weapon, what you would do with this weapon, first of all. How you would hold it, how you would manipulate it, how you would, it's a horrible thing to imagine, but how you would use it. Given the list, if there are any popular films based on it. It struck a nerve. Your pupil went. Now, I've always wanted to say this. Just one more thing. You got the Columbo reference?
Yes.
With deduction, it is a soft science. Only the more you practice it, the more direct you get. So I'm going to show these guys first my thoughts, so I can't change. And then I want you to announce the location and the weapon you chose. And obviously it's either going to be really climactic or incredibly anticlimactic. Okay? You chose?
Paris chainsaw.
Do this. Because technically you did, you were the killer.
Yeah, that's true.
Hour number one. Much the same way, take yours out, sir. And you did survive as well.
Because I had nothing to do with it.
It only means if you reach in and grab yours out. Drum roll. We had our victim. Thank you.
You know Sue? but that had the best stuff.
Princess, I want you to do a similar thing, okay? But I want you to think of any British coin. So you got the 1p, the 2p, 5, 10, 50, 20, £1 and £2. You got a choice of 9 to think of. Okay? Think of any one of these coins and just picture it in your head for me. Okay? Now in a similar vein, I want you to choose between being a liar and a truth teller. If you choose to be a liar, you must lie to every question I ask. If you choose to be a truth teller, you must tell the truth to every question I ask. Okay? Sound fair? Okay. So these 4 baseline questions I'm going to ask you, you answer in character. Okay? Now your coin, is it a high denomination coin or a low denomination? And we'll say 50p and up is a high denomination coin, 20p and down is a low denomination coin. Okay? Is your coin a high or a low one?
Low.
Low. And answering again in character, are you right or left-handed? Left. And the size of your coin. Bear in mind, we'll call like £1 small, 5p small, £2 big, 50p big. All right. So just so, yeah. I wasn't asking a question, but fair enough. You went for it. It's fine. So you have a coin in mind, though. All right. One last question. One last test question. Do you have any pets at home? So we're going to play a similar game now, just with an imaginary piece. Okay? So you can hold your fists out like this, because you can imagine the coin in there. Imagine this coin in there. Alright? So let me hold your hands just briefly for a second. Okay? Now you answer in character. But this time, change your character. Pick a new character if you want to. Let's make it more difficult. Alright? Or keep with the same one. Entirely your choice. Okay? So you answer me in your fresh character now. Alright? Is the coin in your right hand? Answer me in character. Is the coin in your right hand? Okay? Now imagine taking your hands behind your back, and you can swap over once if you want to. If not, keep the coin in that same hand. Alright? And bring your hands back out. Now answer me again in that same character from before. Did you make a swap?
No.
So I think in this scenario then the coin would be in your left hand, is that right? Yeah? Now I had a high denomination coin in mind, so either a 50, a £1 or a £2, is that right? Yeah, were you thinking of a pound?
Yes.
Yeah? Brilliant.
But they all look real.
I will soon, yeah.
And it's long been a hobby of mine to have a working knowledge of London. I forget the exact sort of story. Irony. But it has. And I started this. I did it before. I memorised the A to Z a few years ago now, and I haven't looked over it since. I began about a month ago. So you'll have to forgive. It's not a complete A to Z, it's a partial. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little... Okay? And it's a 201 page book. I was just checking, I didn't know. And so we're going to do this. Stick right there, so in fact, come on up, let's try this here. Everybody, Christine. Daddy, I'm the star.
Of course.
Anyway, so, but you can see, if we just flip through quick,
Yeah.
they're different on every page. It's not one of them, and it goes right the way through. Examine it to your heart's content. Right? I mean, you can buy one from just down the road if you want. So here's what I want you to do. Focus on 2 letters of the alphabet, 2 different ones. Got them? Yeah? Got them in mind. And I want you to just keep it up, just so I don't see what page you start on. Okay? So do feel free to change the page as many times as you want. But what I want you to do is to find 2 streets that begin with these 2 letters. Okay? Bless you.
Thank you.
Whoever that was. it's a funny thing like this, because a lot of works with the Memory Palace journeys that you can take with memorising something as visual as an A to Z, it becomes quite clear. You know, we plan these journeys in our head, and the more journeys we do, the more ingrained into them we are. This is why I turn up on days like this at midday, so I can just wander around for hours and just drink it all in, feel the beating quiver of its heart, as it were. And so you've settled on 2 streets?
I have.
Okay, now, just to prove that this is a latent skill that we can all have, I want you to just hold it up, but just spread it so that they're open and looking towards you, just the books. Okay, so everybody can see sort of where the book page splits at the top, but don't show them any of the numbers. Okay.
Okay.
This is where we use our inductive theory. Okay. We have a known finite number of objects, 201 pages. Okay. Now what we have to induce here is the most likely scenario. Okay. And the most likely scenario is whatever page number you have, which we would be able to guess, judging from the thickness of the pages. Okay. So we're going to have 3 people take a guess. Closest one wins a prize.
80.
Who?
Page 80.
Page 80. So we got first guess. You don't give anything away, poker face.
Okay.
Second one. Who?
91.
91.
96.
Oh, that's 3 guesses.
Oh, sorry.
So we've got 80, 91, and 96. Who's the closest?
91.
91 is the closest. You win, sir. Your very own, top of the line. eBay, about 4 pence. Now back to the street names. Okay. So I want you to do, first of all, is just go back to the letters. Okay, the 2 letters you started with at the very beginning. Okay, and just concentrate on them. Okay, and then just imagine announcing them out loud. Don't actually announce them out loud though, obviously. And give the streets an order. Think of this as the first one, and this is the second street. Okay? And then just keep saying them over and over again. Okay, that first one. Start with an A? Yeah?
Yeah.
And then the second one. Second one, keep saying it over and over again. Okay. It's tough to get the expressions because there's no emotional attachment to this. It's just nonsensical letters. We know that when we feel happy, most of the time we do this. When we feel sad, we do this. No, to invoke that same feeling over something as asinine as letters, which I don't downgrade for the sake of authorial standpoint, and it's a difficult thing to do. So just bear with me, and you will have to help me out if I wander off. But this second one begins with a T. No, what's it begin with?
G.
T. Yeah. Wrong either way, but. So A and G. Page, what was the exact page, or was he right?
Yeah, close. It was 90.
90, okay. So, right, let's do this. 90. A and G. They're both actual streets as well. It's not like road or lane or close. They're both something streets.
Yeah.
So there's quite a good population of streets on 90. I'll go for, I think I've got the G one better. I've got this image of a brown and white dog. Like, oh, that's right. G knows. What was the street name that began with G?
Gladstone?
Now we'll go for. I mean, you can put the book down, whatever. But just we'll go for A this time, and just yes or no. Do any images pop into mind when you say this word?
Yeah.
Right. You think? Ooh. Yeah, got it.
Oh, I'm supposed to say it now.
Please do.
Abby?
Okay. no. I want to try something else. Just to see, because I probably shouldn't have said it, because it's very difficult what I've committed now. Okay, so. There should only be one of them. Look up Abbey Street in the back. Hopefully to help you out, it'll be on page 101. You're alright? It builds tension, I can feel them.
Well.
Go to page 101.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's there, Abbey Street?
Yes, it is.
First of all, right, okay, it splits into two columns. The first one being the most left, the second one obviously being on the right.
Yeah.
Is it in column 1 or column 2? Okay, so you find Abbey Street itself, okay? Then I want you to look at the grid reference above Abbey Street. Look at the grid reference above Abbey Street. The grid reference directly above Abbey Street.
Got it.
Announce it out loud.
57B7. Whoa.
And then look at the grid reference below Abbey Street.
96B6.
If I can't tell you that Abbey Street itself is 63D5.
Close.
Oh! What was it?
A4.
63A4.
Thank you so much.
And that brings me back to that eponymous catchphrase of emotions being antagonistic to clear reason. And it really is true. You know yourselves, when you've got so pissed off, you're only focused on that one idea, everything else blocks out. Therefore, you cannot reason as clearly as what you could do if everything was clear. So there was this battle that would happen, and Moriarty would go off on all, committing all these crimes, leaving these little tokens that were the metaphorical middle finger to Sherlock, who would then get really angry that he couldn't catch up to this. And there was this whole back and forth in which Sherlock could never catch up because he was feeling slightly arrogant that there was somebody that could beat him. And then Moriarty was getting slightly magnanimous in his victories, leaving more and more clues behind. And it eventually resulted in this battle. He would leave these little metal discs at each location with whatever character he was playing, and he'd sign them in some way. And it eventually brought down to the idea that these little tokens that he was leaving behind were from Moriarty's warehouse. I asked you to be my Moriarty in this event, yes?
You did.
And I asked you to think of a shop.
Yes.
Not tell anyone, keep it super, super secret.
Indeed.
Is that fair?
That is
just to bring everyone up to speed. Imagine. Sorry, I have like 1,000 thoughts that go through my head in a brief period of time, so there's like words falling out of my face. I get very dry mouth. So, here's what I want you to do. Is to just picture that shop for me. Whatever it is that you are considering burglary. And if there's anybody listening, it's only imagination. You're not actually going to do it. Are you? No good. Says a lot about your character. Okay. So think about the things that it would sell. Think about the things that would be in the store, the kind of people that would be in there. Can I just ask you, do you travel a lot?
No.
Well, this is a very popular shop, you think?
Yes.
Can you just think of the word, the title of the shop, whatever it is? Like if it was a Nando's, you'd just be thinking Nando's. So I want you to think about the items in this shop. Yeah? And again, that was a very telling moment. You almost masticated almost. It's to do with food. Can you not to give anything away? But I'm right that this is to do with food. Yeah. I don't think I know the grand scheme of shops well enough to go for the exact name, so would you be happy with my success if I got the type of shop right?
Yes.
Okay. Just close your eyes a sec. That's what I have in mind. Okay? Okay, you can uncover your eyes now. Go. What shop? What type of shop did you have in mind?
A sweet shop.
Now it's the joy of this scenario. I'm either going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. What's the name of the shop you went for? See, moving on with the story then. Now, I was close. I was close. See, I never can resist the touch of the dramatic. I think we need Dennis as well. Okay, and how old are you? 35, 81? 80. Down that Massachusetts. And when's your birthday? Yeah.
22nd August.
That puts you in realms of a similar age that Moriarty would have been in my story. But arguably that's the grand scheme of things. Yeah. What's your job?
IT guy.
You're an IT guy. Sitting in my pocket throughout the night has been a disc. Now, talking about these emotions being antagonistic to clear reasoning, it wasn't until I planned the end of the tale that Holmes would stop seeing these as taunts and start seeing them as clues. These eventually led to a steelworks, which was his base of operations. And I just want you to see what I've had scratched in there. If you could read that out in a big, strong voice so everyone can hear.
I am not computer man. I am Moriarty.
Yeah, that's a confession for everybody. You can see it was scratched right in there. To everybody.
I am not Paul, I am Moriarty.
That's a very brave confession, I think. Well done. Now, I did say he signed it in a very particular way. He did. And he signed it with his date of birth.
Right.
If you would just read out what's inscribed into the other side as well.
17 to 76.
Thank you very much, Paul. That's your exact date of birth, yes? And particularly yourself, sir. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been one of those real fanboy moments. And so thank you. That's everything from me. Have a wonderful day.